What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I have to make this quick disclaimer before I tell you guys the news. I have some breaking news. Um, Again, when you're doing any kind of reporting, as seen with the 78 Sports TV, sometimes you have sources that aren't as reliable as you think, or it turns out to not come into fruition. So when you guys hear this, don't just take it for what it is. It may happen, it may not. I'm letting you know, and I'm letting you know what I heard. So, word on the street is Robert Guerrero is the wild card pick for Manny Pacquiao, which is why in my last video, if you watched it, I didn't understand. Made a couple quick calls, and they're saying that Robert Guerrero is allegedly in talks to possibly face Manny Pacquiao, which would make sense because when I did my last video, I read the Dan Rayfield report stating Guerrero was trying to get out of his Golden Boy contract, and I was like, that just doesn't make sense. They offered you fights, they offered you big fights leading up to the Floyd Mayweather fight. You had the title shot at the Iden, then you had a big name in Berto, and then you got the Mayweather payday. So after that loss, why the fuck would you change? And I was thinking, and before I talked, I was just like, what would cause someone? I was just thinking about what. This makes sense. If this is true, this makes sense. And I kind of alluded to that in my video, unless he's going to try to fight Pacquiao or Bradley, why would he want out of his Golden Boy contract? And this makes a whole hell of a lot of sense because if you think about it, Manny Pacquiao is running out of options. Either the people retire, people like Antonio Margarito, he's already fought them. They don't have much of a fan base like Jesse Vargas. That wouldn't be a good seller, especially coming off of the Brandon Rios performance with only 500,000 buys. Pacquiao's in desperate need of a big fight, a fight like Mayweather. We know Mayweather might just attempt to starve him out because he has the upper hand, at least at the moment. Pacquiao has suffered back-to-back losses, arguably a third loss in the Marquez 3. Then he got knocked out in his fight. He has tax problems. Mayweather, just out of pure spite, might not give him that fight. So Pacquiao's running out of options. They've even thrown around the idea of him facing a stablemate in Ruslan Provatnikov, a fucking stablemate, and that's because he's limited on options. Marquez is also teetering on the brink of retirement, saying he doesn't want the Pacquiao fight. So that's an option. And if the Timothy Bradley and Marquez fight happens, if that rematch happens, then Pacquiao's fucked. He's going to have to fight a stablemate or look for other options, i.e. Robert Guerrero. So this makes a whole hell of a lot of sense if it is true. They're saying Guerrero's the wild card pick. The likelihood that this fight happens, I don't know, because Robert Guerrero's under contract with Golden Boy. And from what I'm hearing from the Schaefer article, this is not a California contract. This is a New York based contract or something based on some technicalities. So Guerrero's out of California, and he probably thought there would be a loophole because California is very, very open-minded as a state, and he thought, I guess, that it'd be easy to get out. But from what I'm reading, that it's a New York promotional contract that the terms were signed under, which, if you know anything about California and you know anything about New York, just know New York doesn't fuck around. They do not play like their laws, the RICO laws. He knows firsthand because he was at the airport with the gun. It was a registered gun and everything. He tried to declare it. They weren't having it. New York does not fuck around when it comes to their laws. They have really tight, strict laws. So I don't know if he'll even be able to get out of his contract to the point where a Pacquiao fight could be made. Maybe Golden Boy allows him to get out of the contract for a percentage and just throws him to the wolves. They still have a lot of the talent pool at 140 all the way to 154. So who knows? But as far as a Pacquiao fight, I mean, that's kind of despicable. I think Guerrero should stick around with Golden Boy because there's a lot more options. Pacquiao, let's say you fight Pacquiao and Bradley. What are you going to do next? Retire? There's not many options in his weight class, in his respective weight class, that makes sense. And this sounds like it could be true, really based on the fact that Robert Guerrero turned down and ducked a fight with Keith Thurman because it was a high risk, low reward fight. And he got a taste of that Mayweather money, in my opinion. He got a taste of that Mayweather money got that cool 3 million, 4 million, or whatever it was to fight Mayweather, and he got a taste of that. Now he feels like he's above the Keith Thurmans of the world, or he's above a Sean Porter fight. He wants to fight the big names. He wants to fight someone like Timothy Bradley, who's building up his fan base and his name, or someone like Manny Pacquiao, who just fought in Macau, China, and is an international superstar. So I think this really could be true. I think Guerrero wants that big money fight, and he lost his first big money fight against Mayweather, so he's trying to look and bounce back and fall right into another one. Boxing is a business, whether we like it or not. As far as the reality of this, if this is true, it's despicable to me that Top Rank is trying to pull the wool under our eyes. And if this fight is happening, more so than Amir Khan and Mayweather, people should be pissed off at this fight. If Pacquiao and fucking Guerrero happens, people should be livid. And more so than Amir Khan, because at the very least, Amir Khan had 2 bounce back fights, a new trainer, and he won both of those. If Pacquiao fights this motherfucker, that means he's fighting yet another fighter coming off a loss in his last fight. He fought Brandon Rios. Brandon Rios moved up in weight, was coming off a loss to Alvarado in the rematch. Pacquiao dusted him, beat the brakes off him. Now, if for his second fight, he fights Robert Guerrero, I'm not talking about stylistically, because stylistically, 2 southpaws could be an interesting match. But why are you fighting Floyd's leftovers? If this is the truth, why would you keep fighting Floyd's leftovers? Floyd beats Ricky Hatton, you fight him. Floyd beats Shane Mosley, you fight him. It just doesn't make sense. Shane Mosley beats Antonio Margarito, then you fight him. Like, why are you fighting Floyd's leftovers and or fighters who have not looked spectacular in their last 2 or 3 fights, aka coming off of losses? It does not make any motherfucking sense to me. So that's all I gotta say. We'll see what develops with the story if Guerrero is able to weasel out of his contract, if a Pacquiao fight is possibly made, but that's some bullshit. If Pacquiao is repeatedly fighting people off of losses in their recent fights and or weight drained or catch weighted fighters, that's some bullshit. And that needs to be disputed. And if Robert Guerrero weasels out of his contract and gets out of it, yet he avoided a fight with Keith Thurman, he avoided the fight with Sean Porter, and the reason I'm saying avoided a fight with Sean Porter is now a belt holder. That's a logical fight with your current promotional company, and you're going over across the water to Top Rank potentially. That's some bullshit. So there's talented fights. They may not make as much money, but there's a lot of great fights. Victor Ortiz, Amir Khan, Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, Adrian Broner. There's a lot of great fights over here at Golden Boy. Some people were even talking about Canelo, him moving up and fighting Canelo. So if he avoids all those fights to get a big money fight, that's some bullshit. Let me know what you guys think. As always, hey, comment or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.